Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a restoration video on a group lot of vintage Barbies from the early 60s that I just received from eBay.
This is all Jan's fault.
I like to shop on eBay too.
Oh gee, would you like a medal or a chest to pin it on?
And I have no business shopping on eBay right now.
And she means that.
If you saw my box of project dolls, I'm pretty sure all of you all would squeal. The fact that I'm on eBay being a troll and looking at listings is really criminal.
Excuse my beauty.
Somebody lock me up.
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, as if!
Besides the fact of not needing to purchase these dolls, I went and purchased them anyway. And I decided to display them in this video so that way you all can see how I restored them.
No.
If you like these kinds of videos, leave a like down below, share with all your friends, and let me know how you're doing down in the comments below. To everyone who watched my last video, the Crystal Barbie makeover, I want to say thank you all so much for your kind words and all of your encouragement. You all are just magic, and thank you all so much. It just fills me up with so much joy that you all enjoyed that project so much and that you loved that doll, because I was very proud of that doll myself. So thank you all so much. Just wanted to say you all are the best, and I really love every single one of you, and I love reading the comments and getting to hear from you and getting to hear your take. So I hope you enjoy this video, and without further much ado, let's get into restoring these vintage Barbies.
Do I have a choice?
No. I got something really exciting in the mail, and it is a group lot of vintage Barbie. I got this on eBay. I shouldn't have been on eBay. I really don't have any business spending more money on dolls this year, at all. But sometimes it pays off for going on there, considering the platinum swirl that I have here, no green ear, amazing. And then a side part American girl, that's lemon blonde, so beautiful. She is giving Doris Day. I just think all American Girl Barbies just give Doris Day for some reason, but amazing, wonderful, very, very nice to find. I really didn't pay that much for this entire lot. Of course, we get Scooter also, which
a drag queen.
I just think this doll is so derpy. She's really not that cute, but this is actually a more cuter version than the one that I already have. A beautiful Skipper who just needs a bath. Her hair is the Titian hair tone, and it's very it feels like wool. So it's not saran, it's a different kind of fiber. I'm not really sure what fiber it is.
Help!
We have a very used, beat up Midge. As you can see, a brunette Midge. But it looks like all of her hair is there, which is a good thing. And she will need probably the most work, as far as I can tell right now, just looking at them.
You want a bit?
What an exciting lot to get. The only unfortunate thing I will say about this is that she no longer bends. Right here you can see where it's broken on the inside. Is this fixable? Maybe. Could probably figure it out. However, that would have me cutting into the leg in the back where the seam is, and then going in there and trying to fix it as best as I can. But old fixed plastic is never as durable as new plastic with no breaks in it whatsoever, so chances are it would break again. Restoration like that, and I've said this before in a separate video, but it's whatever it's worth to you. I'm not going to sit there and bend this doll's legs, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, although it is a very satisfying sound. I love that sound. But chances are she's going to get restored and then put on a shelf next to my other American Girl Barbie. So yeah, it's really not that important that she has that bendable knee function, because I love Barbies like this, and they don't have bendable knees or anything like that. They're just standard Barbie bodies. But I'm super excited to get these dolls in my collection. I'm super excited to see what they look like whenever they're restored. as that is really the telltale sign of whether I'm going to keep them or not.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
So before we give them all a super soak, we're going to get these two dolls out of their original swimsuits. We're also going to take out this rubber band. Let me look at this rubber band actually. It's kind of weird, and I want to show it on camera because it doesn't feel like a normal rubber band. I might even have to cut it out, but it has grooves in it, almost like it's a part of, you know, like a Tonka truck or something. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of rubber band that is. If any of you know, let me know down in the comments. So I'm gonna make a hot bath for them, but on camera, I'm only gonna show me cleaning one of these dolls because it could get really reductive real quick. And this is a lot of restoring to do, so we're gonna try to do this as quickly as possible. So I'll show you how to wash probably this one right here, a Swirl Ponytail, very pretty. And we're going to use the same tactics and the same skills on all of these other dolls. And if you would like a more detailed restoration on what I particularly do to clean my dolls, I have a tutorial for you already in the playlist tutorials, where you can learn how to wash your doll, and it's very thorough and in-depth tutorial, so I recommend you watch that if you have any questions. But also go ahead and ask your questions anyway.
No.
Wow, that was emphatic.
So what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to start off with some hot water, and once we have a little warm water, we can go ahead and toss Barbie in. I'm going to take some dish soap and I'm going to lather it all over this Barbie. And when she is all lathered up, I'm going to take a wet toothbrush. Soft bristles work the best. And I'm going to place a bulk of that baking soda right here on the chest, and I'm going to take a little bit of it and just lay it right there on the face. I'm just going to let it sit there while I wash this body off. On painted areas, you want to go a little bit lighter, but on just regular standard areas, you can really just go for it. Remember too, the more crevices that you go into with the baking soda, that means for our second bath, you're gonna have to go into them again with some dish soap. That way you can get all the baking soda out of the grooves, because dried baking soda is not really the look that we're going for. Okay, now we'll get to her face. And with her face, you can lightly go over it. Again, painted details, kind of try it a little bit lighter, unless she's got like some really bad surface dirt. But I don't believe this doll really had that bad of a face. So now we're going to dunk her into the water. As you can see, that kind of got brown. Check out her. Isn't she pretty?
Look quite pretty.
Do another coat, go back in with the toothbrush, and get into those crevices that we got in before with the baking soda. And just scrub it away in between the fingers, back in with the warm water. And now she's ready for hair conditioner.
I'm going to cream.
So as far as conditioner goes, I like to use conditioners that have the word moisture in them. I like to take a wide tooth comb to brush the hair out. And don't ever be nervous whenever it comes to doing this to your vintage Barbies. Just remember that you are the one that is in control of your actions, whether that be with a paintbrush, toothbrush, or a comb. This would also be great if you're looking for rooting patterns for swirls. I'll try to show you like how her hair is rooted, so that way you all who are interested, I know like there's a couple of you that have asked me to do a reroot of a swirl, and you're interested to see that rooting pattern. So I can show you this rooting pattern. Okay, so now I feel like her hair is ready to be washed off. And that is some pretty hair. Look at that hair. Oh my goodness. That is some gorgeous hair. Check that out. And now this doll is ready for a boil wash.
A witch!
I have my boiling hot water ready, and I am just going to pour onto this doll's hair. And before I start to brush it, I'm gonna take some cold water and just shock the hair. So, you might be like, why do you do that? Because when it's so boiling hot like that, hair tends to stick together. And these are the steps that I use when fixing up my ponytails, especially if they like have crimps in their hair. Like, can you see like the crimps in the hair? Probably from that rubber band. Okay, so it's brushed again. Look at that, no more cramps, no more kinks. Now before she's completely ready, I'm just gonna put some diluted gel in her hair, just a little bit of it. Don't add too much, otherwise the hair will get crunchy. And there we go, my friends. The swirl is ready to be dried. I only do my swirl hairstyles whenever they are dry. Same with the ponytail. Because of how much hair they don't have, it's always smart to wait for the hair to completely dry before you go on to your next step. But while she is drying, what I can do is go ahead and wash up the rest of the dolls. And I'm going to use the same techniques as I did with her. And then we will be back to give them a couple restyles and repairs. I am gonna go ahead and get these dolls cleaned up, but before I do, I just wanna say that if you do have a doll that has chip paint like this, go easy on her face, a little bit easier than what you normally would, so that way you don't chip any of the paint that's left over, because that paint is going to be very helpful for us as far as like a template goes. So just tread lightly whenever you have face paint like this. With a Skipper doll like this, we're not going to do boiling water, because this doll has like some sort of hair that feels like it's not wool, but it's very soft, and it's not as coarse as what the Saran doll hair is at this time. Like, this doll hair is really great for boil washing. But this hair is not, so we're not going to use boiling water when it comes to this doll. But again, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get all of these dolls all bathed up, so that way they can be as ready to go as the swirl.
We're gonna make glamour happen, or I'm going home.
It's time to give Skipper her very own little boil wash. Now, this is not going to be boiling water. This is hot water. So think about as hot as you would like a room temperature hot chocolate. Just hot enough for the touch. I'm going to test it actually on an end piece of hair, just to see. And look at that, it did not get fuzzy. So this hair that she has right now, it's actually very fragile. As I was brushing it, it kind of like dry rotted and got really thin. So that's unfortunate. It's gonna be okay. She's still gonna be thriving and looking cute and stuff. On this comb, you can have it with like some diluted like hair conditioner from whenever you were brushing them out or not. I'm gonna leave it on there because I think it's actually gonna be beneficial. I'm going to pour this right on top. And then I'm going to take the comb and just brush. I'm gonna take some hot water, dump that right on top. Take the comb again. We'll do one more, just on the ends this time. There we go. And then I'm going to take some of my diluted gel and pour that right on top, and then brush that out. So this is going to give it a sleek and shine appearance, which is kind of what this hair is missing. It's missing a lot of moisture. So I used a lot of moisturizing products. But once you've gotten it all brushed out to your satisfaction, you're ready to let her sit and dry off. First ones on the boil wash chopping block are going to be Midge and Barbie. Now with these two, I am going to actually let their hair soak. Especially Midge. Midge, she really needs to soak. Her hair is real bad.
Surprise! It's Midge.
But here's Scooter, and I put Scooter's hair into its little pigtails, and its thatching should go all the way down. You just pull aside and then put in little pigtails. And her bangs are a issue. They like to stand up. So I'm going to put this onto the ends of her hair, which should help. And once you pour the hot water on it, just brush it. There we go. Brush, brush, brush. Okay, I'm gonna put some diluted gel on the bangs, which should hold them in place. Now Miss Midge, she's got that hair, and that hair talks. But as long as I can run a comb through it, that's all I really care about. And I am going to restyle her hair by giving her new curls. But what I want to do is I want to relax the hair that's already there, so that way we get the best results possible when giving her a restyle, because that is much more manageable than what it was before. Because we are going to try to get Midge's hair to look stunning so that we can make her look pretty stunning as well. At least, you know, as stunning as Midge can get.
Shut up!
And now it's time for Barbie. Barbie's turn. For bubble cuts, all you gotta do is just like put them into water, and honestly their hair just bounces right back. I could curl the ends here. I might curl this end right here so that way it's more curly, but the rest of it's pretty good. Like the side is very good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to shape the hair, and that's when you find how your Bubble's hair wants to sit. Now that her hair is all relaxed and I can see like how it's gonna lay, is I'm going to curl her little bang right here, because I think that would look really nice. This one is still pretty curled, but this one I'd like to be just a little bit more out of her face.
Right, as always.
Let's get started on restyling Midge. Midge, poor Midge. Midge looks like she was the most used, surprisingly.
It is so hateful.
You know, different strokes for different folks. So really what you could do, because Midge's curls are really permanent, just nearly, you could just do that and then call it quits. But I want to do a better job.
Gee, there's so many things I'm good at. I wouldn't know where to start.
Oh, I'm just so perfect at so many things.
You're just jealous, Jan.
So I'm gonna take some perm paper that I've made out of paper towel. I'm gonna fold it in half, and I'm gonna separate it into 3 different sections. We'll pull this one down. There we go. If it looks like I'm not wearing any pants, I'm wearing shorts. I live in Florida and it's still hot here, which would explain as to why it's so expensive. I'm going to curl Midge's hair up, like so. Now these are the same curlers that I've left a link on Amazon to in the past. I have just removed the foam part of the curler in case you were curious. I'm gonna do the back of the hair last. can do this hair in 3 parts if you want. Perm paper, go down to the curl, take a foamless curler and curl up. And then we'll go to the back, do the same steps as we did to the other 2, and then curl your way up. Okay, and there you go. So we are going to boil wash this doll's hair just like this. You want to get these curlers above the one in the back. And if you have a plastic cello, if you know how to make them, you can learn how to make them by watching my twist and turn Marlowe flip restoration. But it would be at this time that you could put a little plastic cellophane on top, so that way it also boil sets Midge's bangs into place as well, like so. And there you go, she's ready for her boil wash. With her boil wash done and the cello removed from the top of her head and diluted gel put onto each curl, she is ready to get the curlers removed. And I know what you're thinking, why in the world are you removing it whenever it's still wet? And I'll tell you why, because this old saran, as you will see, bounces back incredibly. You don't have to wait, and we're not done styling yet. So that means this is an ideal time to manipulate the hair into the shape that we want it into. You don't want to wait too long, because this hair will sit in a way that you probably don't want it to, if so. Okay, beautiful curls, look at that. Okay, Midge, okay, Miss Midge. But you see, like, if I let it dry, you see like how it's gonna look? She looks kind of like out of this world. Looks like the King of Hearts. You know? Justice for Midge, you know? Justice for Midge. I'm being so mean. I'm being a bully.
You are the worst!
But anyway, we're gonna style this page boy. Just like that. And it still does kind of stand up, but we're gonna do something about that here in a minute. And there we go, look at that. Look at that, look at that. Ooh. And when this hair dries, oh my God. Oh my God. Well, we're gonna do something so that way it will dry into a position that I'm comfortable with. I'm gonna take some regular dark brown, almost like a chocolate colored thread. I am going to go under the neck, like so. This looks so graphic. There we go. So now I'm under the neck. I'm going to loop up the other bits right here. And I'm going to tie down the hair to go around that neck bit. And this is how we are going to leave it. We're gonna let that hair dry like this. And when it dries like this, it's going to stay like this, which is ideal. Truthfully. So let's go around and kind of shape it. Do you see the vision? Right? I know you see the vision. Look at that. Is that Midge? She's already looking better. So to make these curls look more uniform, you can now go under like that. Brush them together. Take the rat tail part, pull it out, and check that out. Look at that. Wow, right? It's just looking pretty good.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
You're a dreamer. You dream a lot in your sleep.
No, not really. I know.
Yes, you do.
No, I
yes,
don't.
you do.
Let's do Barbie.
No.
We've got Barbie now, and I'm going to do this large curl up here in front because it is a little bit too saggy-licious for me. And what I'm going to need is a perm paper. I'll fold it in half and place it right on top. If you watched my Silkstone modern art Barbie review, you're probably familiar with what I'm doing because I did the same thing to that doll on the cause of her tragic hair.
What the fuck is this?
There we go. Check that out. They're out of it. But there we go. All right, it's time for her boil wash. Right on the curl, that's all she needs. But I'm just gonna go in and put some all over. Brush it out a bit. Some diluted gel, never hurt. Right onto the curl. Okay, and just like with Midge, we can remove it. And look who's got a curl again. And there she is, our bubble queen. Look at her now. They are going to be some simply stunning dolls whenever we get to repainting them. Let's go ahead and get to doing this doll's hair. So it is boil washed, it is all dry, but it's time to do this hair. Now, swirl hair I have done on this channel before, but I know a lot of you requested me to share with you like how a swirl is rooted or how it can be rooted. But I am going to tell you that the best way to look at a doll's rooting pattern is by having an original example, not necessarily me teaching you how to do it. So let's look at her hair rooting, for instance. So her hair rooting, and I've got like my little hat pin for this so that you can see, it's rooted all around the front part of the hair. So there will be little indents into the head itself, like a rooting pattern already to show you where this hairline would be. So you are just going to root the hairline as you see it. Now, usually with these ponytail Barbies, because the hair is so fine, it does have a double layer of rooting. So there's one row and then another row beside of it. If you are using saran hair, you don't need to use a double row of hair because saran hair is much thicker and it's a different kind of texture, so your hair will look very different if you root it with saran hair. Even like if you do a partial, like it just won't look the same. I think the problem that a lot of people have is with the bangs themselves. So the bangs, if she will allow me to show, are actually rooted onto the forehead. So when you get the hair separated, you will see where the bangs begin and where they end. So the bangs will begin right here. So right here is where your bangs will begin. They're going to swoop down right to the center of the forehead, right there. And then they are going to go up the matching side. Usually, I have found some examples where it's not double rooted, but majority wise, it is double rooted. So you've got your rooting on the outline, and then you have your rooting on the inside. And that is what will create your swirl bang. And it is called a swirl because it is in a swirl formation, see? And there you are. So that is the swirl, and that is how you do it, and that is the rooting pattern. Let's go ahead and start to create the swirl ponytail. So this is going to be me showing you how I create my swirl ponytails. This is not the definitive way to do it. There are other ways of doing it. So if you find a way that helps you out, then go for it, use it, enjoy it, love it. But we are going to do it this way. So I'm going to pull the hair back, and you see some really long hairs right here. Do not cut these, use these. These will be handy for later. So we have the hair, we can pull it back. We can take a rubber band and loosely put the hair back. You want to do it on top of the temple, like so. Reproductions like to put the hair like right up here, but it's on the back, right on the back. And don't forget about your long hair. That comes important, very handy later. We'll take the swirl, bang, and we are going to take it and hold it like so. And you can gauge where you would like it. And this is where I like to stick a pin, right there. And that is what's going to hold my swirl bang back. Now, in the factory, they actually had little small itty bitty hairpins that they would place right there. And that would be one place for a hairpin. She would have had a hairpin here, and then a hairpin to hold the ponytail to the back of the head. We can take some of our diluted gel and put it in a little small cup. We can take a little cotton ball and douse it with some diluted gel. And we can take it and put it on the bang, and this should help. So when you've got it together, it should look something like this. So you can see it. So we still have our long bits of hair right over here, and we're gonna fish them out. And do not cut the long bits of hair like whenever you get it done, because the long bits of hair are going to be like the ponytail hair wrap. So we are going to take this, and you just want to saturate this little hair portion. Not all the hair, but just this part. See, that looks really clean. And we are going to take the leftover hair and just pull it through like so. It's like making a knot. And there you are. So when you are done, you should have something that looks like this. So for swirls, believe it or not, some of them did not have a hard curl on the end. There are some swirls that do exist that have longer hair than this, where they would have had a hard curl, but for the majority, the hair was just like lightly curled on the end. We are going to put a rubber band on this end of the hair. We're gonna wrap it with a paper towel, the end. And we're just gonna curl up with your curler, the foamless part. There you go, boop. And we're gonna put some boiling water on the end and a little bit of diluted gel, and we will let her wait and sit and dry off. And then we'll get to repainting these beautiful Barbies.
Anita, darling!
It's time for a puppy break. He was really letting the mailman have it downstairs, so I decided to give him a quick little brush. Barbies aren't the only thing here that need a little TLC.
And who said this brush wasn't good for something?
Well, back to the old grind.
So I'm going to give you a brief description on what I'm going to do with my repainting. If you are looking for a more in-depth video on how to repaint, I already have one on my channel. It's under the tutorials playlist. In case you haven't seen that video yet, I will do a brief rundown of what I'm going to do. I'm going to be using acrylic paints. I love using acrylic paints. I'm going to be diluting it with water, and the reason why you dilute it with water is because it can get really streaky really quickly, and it would be best if you would do multiple layers instead of having one streaky layer. Another thing too to keep in mind, we are repainting dolls that were originally stenciled. So in doing any kind of restoration with repainting, there is a point in time where you might add too many layers, where you might start to see brush strokes, or you might not add enough and it might not look original. Just try to do your best and don't worry about it because paint can always be removed. Another thing too, if you make a mistake, you can either wash it off with water or you can wash it off with rubbing alcohol. But without further much ado, I'm going to get into repainting my dolls. So a lot of you seem very excited for my new upcoming series, the original fashion doll, and I'm honestly really excited to start it. And to make sure I do a really fabulous job, I am going to have to devote all my time into restoring them and then also editing these videos. And even though I do like to upload every single week, I can't guarantee that I will be ready by next week to upload this series, because sometimes restorations can be a little bit more taxing and more difficult, especially whenever we get into much older dolls. But I already do have experience in restoring them, so it should be relatively easy for me. But recording it, now that's a different issue. With a lot of dolls that I'd like to introduce to a new audience, that does mean that I'd like to do a lot of heavy research into them, so that way you as an audience gets to know all the facts about the doll that we are working on, and that takes a lot of time. So as I mentioned, just bear with me and just know that that is a new series that we are going to be unveiling. But before I get started on the original fashion doll series, I do have a couple other videos planned to come out before then. So stay tuned for some truly fabulous content. I like to have new videos every single week. Sometimes it does not work out that way, but usually that just means that I have something truly special coming down the pipeline. Also, let me know if there's anything currently that you're working on, because I'm always curious to hear what you all have going on, because sometimes my projects can be very overwhelming, and hearing from you makes my day better.
Foul, foul, send a judge over here. This woman is trying to put us to sleep.
I took the curler out of her hair so she has like that light little curl that she would have had originally. Super cute. And before I do like my little ponytail trick, what I'm going to do is put in her little ribbon. I found this ribbon, this is what it looks like, on walmart.com. And this ribbon is the closest to the ribbon that would have been originally on this doll. I'm gonna go to the back and just tie a neat and pretty little bow. So now I'm gonna cut off the excess. And there we go, we got her little bow. What I'd like to do to keep the ponytail down, because this doll would have had a hairpin that held her hair down as well as held her bangs down, but since I used the diluted gel on her, it actually is stuck in place and looks really shiny and pretty. But I don't have a pin, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some thread and I am going to put this underneath her neck, so that way it goes past the vinyl into the neck joint. And I am just going to do this. I'm going to tie it in the back, like so. And then you will cut off the excess. And there you go. Another doll who needs ribbons is Scooter. So I've taken the same ribbon that I used for Barbie and I dyed it red with Rit all-purpose dye. And with these, I'm going to make the same little bow that I just gave Barbie. Just cut off the excess. There we go, we got like a nice pretty bow. So now I'm going to do the other side of the hair, and then we're ready for a little fashion show with all these dolls restored.
It was a big day for Barbie. She was up bright and early to choose just the right costume to wear. And after putting her dream house in order, she was on her way to work at Barbie's fashion shop. Now Barbie has her very own fashion shop, and you can have one too. There's a window mannequin you can dress, a jewelry counter, shelves for hats and bags, a rack for the Barbie costumes and accessories that you buy, as well as a mirror and chairs for customers. Here comes Barbie on stage now to model one of her newest gowns. You'll have great fun putting the shop and all of its furnishings together to stage your very own Barbie fashion shows. Mattel's new Barbie fashion shop folds up neatly for storage, just like the Barbie Dream House. You can get Barbie's fashion shop and the Barbie Dream House wherever toys are sold. You can tell they're Mattel. They're swell.
The first dolls we will look at will be this Barbie and Skipper, and I dressed them up for Christmas because it is the holiday season after all, and I think that they would look really cute like on a little Christmas display in these beautiful coordinated costumes. I might have to break out my red flare coat so that way she will have something nice and toasty and warm to wear, as she is showing a lot of skin for the holidays, girl. So glamorous. And it would go along with Skipper's ensemble as well. I loved these sister coordinating outfits because they're just so cute and they're all made with like the same materials and such. But there's their afters. I think they look so much better. What do you think?
Hello, gorgeous.
And now we'll look at Midge and talk about a glow up. This doll has certainly seen her time, but she now is so cute and she is simply ready for the holiday season as well. So beautiful in that senior prom outfit. It's so quintessentially early Barbie, but it looks so great on Midge. It just complements her so well. And of course, these two festive creatures, we have the Side Part American Girl Barbie and Skipper's friend Scooter. And they look like they are going out for a lovely day of shopping. And I love the colors of these vintage Barbie outfits, just how technicolor they are and neon and how they just pop right at you. They're just, oh my God, you know? I love patterns like these. And when I had fabric stores around me, I would single out patterns like this. I've got like a whole drawer of them just like right over there. Where, you know, I will dig them out and then make a quick little outfit for Barbie, but so pretty. Just so excited to have these dolls in my collection. Also, side note, here's my other Scooter, because I was like, you know, talking trash per usual. And as you can see, like, Scooter is fine. Scooter's just not my favorite. I don't really like the look of her. She gives me a very, you know, derpy kind of look to me, but that's all right. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, like I definitely think that my new Titian Scooter is a lot cuter than my older Scooter. You know, but Scooter, I think she looks like a rascal, and maybe that's, you know, how she was supposed to be designed, perhaps, as to be Skipper's rascally friend. Here they are all together, looking so precious and cute. I'm very happy I was able to rescue them, and I love the fact that they're all from the same home and they all have like just the same little touches and feel, same little kind of energy that goes along with them. And they are just truly some special dolls, a very nice little time capsule into the past. And I'm so happy to have been able to restore them and bring them back to their former glory, so that way they can continue to make magic for 60 more years. Well, that's the end.
It's true.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like this video, Leave a like down below, share with your friends, leave a comment, let me know how you're doing. I am going to be away again just for a smidgen bit to work on the new series that I mentioned in my previous video. So if you are curious to know what videos I'm talking about, then you should watch my last video and you'll get to hear about the series that you all told me that you were very excited for. So I'm gonna get busy on making that so that we can have high quality restoration as well as a high quality production video. At least as high quality as I can make it on my phone.
Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else?
Not until 4.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day. Thank you all so much for being here. Remember to be kind to others, but most importantly, be kind to yourself. Bye-bye.
If you were a fashion model like Barbie, you'd lead a different life every day of the week. One day you're wearing a gown called Golden Evening and modeling with Barbie's new go-together furniture. Or you're the very model of a sparkling bright nurse's aide in a costume named Candy Striper Volunteer. Then one day the photographer sends you and Midge to Paris. And there you are, wrapped in a glorious new coat called It's Cold Outside. The next day, you and Midge are on your way, sightseeing here and there and everywhere, while the photographer snaps your picture. And sometimes fashion sends you out of this world in a gown so romantic it absolutely floats. You can see all these exciting new costumes wherever toys are sold. You can tell they're Mattel.